All right. This video, I want to talk a little bit about nutrition for your long rides. Athletes across the spectrum, from experienced to just total beginners, constantly make mistakes nutrition related early in the season. And that's simply because we don't have the experience at doing the volume. In other words, the long rides and the experience of those long rides then help us refine our nutrition strategy. So, how do we jump ahead? How do we skip that process of having a couple of really bad long rides to make sure that we're all right? Well, what we do here is we start with a sweat test. And you can do this in your own house, like on your trainer, whatever it is. Go out, like a 2 hour ride, for about half an hour, etc. Get warmed up, make sure you know good. And then we're going to ride an hour steady at your target pace, right? For every your long ride. So say your target pace is 200 watts. So you're going to warm up, do your thing, hop off, strip on down, get on the scale, weigh yourself, right? Totally bare you, right? There you go. Looking good, hopefully private. Do the weighing, weigh in. All right, there you are. Boom. Me, 180 pounds. Boom. Then I go in on the bike and I ride my hour at steady state. And I make sure I take care of, I capture everything that goes in my body. So whether it's food or fuel, on the hydration side, I capture all that. I get at the end of the hour, I go back and I weigh myself again. I see the delta. How much did I lose in an hour at race pace? And how much did I consume? Right? Because basically, if let's say I lost a pound of fluid in that hour of exercise, but I also drank, 24 ounces, which is like a pound and a half. So I really lost 2.5 pounds of fluid in that time of that exercise period. And that allows me to make sure that I've got the right fluids in place. So now I have a target. I got to take 2.5, or let's start with two bottles an hour to pretty much offset the cost of my goal effort on the day in terms of a cost on my body. So we start with the fluid first. Don't start with the food. It's easy to shop for food. It's sexy. It's colorful. It's got all sorts of branding things on it, and low sugar, high fat, whatever it is you want. What we really want is to start with the fluid. So nail the fluid losses that you have in an hour at your target effort, whether that's RPE, heart rate, pace, power, whatever it is that you use. Capture that loss in an hour, and then we take that and put that into fluid terms, and then figure out and we solve the fluid first, especially because we'll take a look at the fluids that you use and we'll say, are you drinking just water, or are you drinking sports drink? Maybe there's some calories in there. So we can now say that when you drink 2.5 bottles of sports drink per hour, according to your sweat test results, this is how many calories you get in, right? So a bottle of Gatorade Endurance, which is sort of my long ride fuel of choice, that has like 180 calories per 24 ounces. So if I'm getting 2 of those in, let's say, then I know I'm getting in 360 calories per hour from my sports drink of choice. And that's a great place to be, So when we think about where I am in terms of a caloric perspective, in terms of my burn rate, which I can also see from my data, I can now see that if I needed to take in, say I need to take in 390 calories per hour at my rate from my body and everything. Well, I'm already taking in 360. I've only got to solve for 30 more calories. But we start with the fluid first, because even if we don't have enough calories on the day, if we're well hydrated or hydrated enough, we'll be much better off than if we are underhydrated but overfed. Your body just doesn't work if you fill your stomach with bars and blocks and gels and chews and it doesn't have enough fluid to operate. That low fluid level is basically a danger signal to your brain when you're riding that says, hey, this is not so good. Even though I have bars, I don't want to eat them because I'm really thirsty and I need to drink, right? So as you think ahead for your nutrition for these long rides, remember, start with your fluid first. Solve with a sweat test for your fluid losses. Use the fluids that you choose as your choice with electrolytes, please. Use that fluid as a choice to then determine, based on your hourly consumption rate, just how many calories you're getting in. And then you fill the gap on those remaining calories with foods of your choice to be successful. Don't forget to always bring salt tabs with you, just in case you need to help settle the stomach with a little too much fluid. And don't be afraid when you stop at a convenience store and you're in a dark place. Don't be afraid to go outside your comfort zone. Get some food. My go-to, I'll admit it, my go-to can of Coke and a Snickers bar has saved me on more than one occasion on a long ride day, because I needed calories, I needed sugar, I needed caffeine. Don't be afraid to go outside the box if you've just worked yourself into a corner. Those convenience store snacks can save a long ride. They've done it for me. All right, best of luck with your nutrition. If you have feedback, comments, thoughts, let us know in the video below.